everybody, welcome back to the Lonely Homestead. I'll give you a little garden update. These are tomatoes that I've got coming up, and they're doing pretty alright. I started these in the bus because we're still hitting 40s at night, and getting things to come up outside is pretty hard. I think in these trays I got like some zucchini and I'll have to look at my notes, I can't remember. But obviously you can see I'm using everything I can find around here to put plants in and get plants started, and then I'll transport them down to the lower garden. This I had some lettuce and Cubano sweet peppers coming up in, and something ate one of the peppers, and I seen a grasshopper fly out, so I put the shade cloth on here, and nothing touched that lettuce or that one, but after the shade cloth, something ate all the peppers. So I put a mouse trap in there and I snapped a mouse. So it's not normal for them to be eating seedlings, but some mouse did it, ate all my seedlings in there. So gotta start over again on the peppers. They were already coming up. That's just a little extra okra I did. And on a brighter note, these have been planted with tomatoes outside for about a month, I think. And then I found this today, starting to come up. So the seeds didn't rot out, which is good. And all these trays and everything, that's a cucumber. Were covered. I covered them in plastic, trying to make their own little greenhouses, and it worked for some things, but it didn't work for melons. And these were also Cubano sweet peppers. Oh no, those two are up there. But all the cucumbers came up even though it was cold, which is unusual, but then they died in a cold snap, except for this one. This one came up after the cold snap. And these are bell peppers, and nothing has come up on those yet. So if they don't come up soon, I'm going to transplant. But like I said, we're still hitting the 40s at night. Come on. Look at Lucy go. She's already bigger than Skip. Huh, Lucy, you got big. You got big fast. But if we come down here, we got lots of broccoli growing, and the sugar snap peas, a bunch of them are booming and taking off. So the mouse didn't dig up all the seeds in there and get it, but I'm still fighting a gopher in here. So, and of course the grasshoppers. You can see that one got munched on quite a bit, but I transplanted a few broccoli because I seeded a bunch close together. But broccoli's doing pretty good as long as I leave these cages on there until they get bigger and I get this gopher. This wire leads to a gopher trap underground, and you can see the hole there and the hole there. So he's digging around the trap. And I got another trap over here under there, which I saw fresh yesterday, so I'll check that a little bit later. If we come down, this is the composting area. Still got plenty of wood and pine needles to work on, and that's firewood. And I'm saving those big old pieces maybe for building materials, because like I say, use what you got. Got plenty of weeds, that's for sure. I've been chipping this one up. It had some green matter in it, but that's okay. It's wood chips. I'm not watering this one or anything right now. Just letting it sit there in case I want to use it as a mulch in the garden or something. This is the compost pile. It's gotten really small. It's shrinking quick, but the temperature right now is only 109. Not sure if you can see that, but 109, and the highest I got it was to 121. So that means add more nitrogen. So I added more weeds, green weeds, and flipped it, and it still only went to 111. So not sure if I'm going to add more nitrogen or just keep flipping it and let it break down slowly. I got nothing but time right now for that to break down because the garden's already going. And we'll go down to the lower garden and I'll show you what I got going on over there. Corn's up, but I bought a special variety from the Northwest. It's a white corn, white sweet corn, and you can plant it, I think they said a week before your last frost. So we haven't been getting frost, but we've been getting down into the 40s, which isn't good for, oh wow, look at that yucca. That one's tall. Gosh dang. That one must be 12 feet tall. It's double my size. Wow. So, what was I saying? Lucy, don't leave your ball out here. You're never going to find it again. Well, the corn. Look at what we got here. Little ladybug. Go to my garden, little ladybug. I noticed my mom has roses in her front yard, and there's aphids all over the butts, surprisingly enough. So we know aphids survive up here, which isn't good. Oh, hey, here we go. I'll show you this real quick too. So this is the lower property, pot farm way over there. But we're near the, well, I wouldn't say this is lower. It kind of goes downhill and then uphill and then back downhill. This is the front of the property, let's say that. So the fence line, it's hard to see. It's, all right, see the big pine trees? That's where the fence line is, on the other side of the big pine. But this is another composting station I built down here, so I don't have to drag everything around. And as you can see, I got lots and lots of stuff I can chip up. And if you come over, oh, there's the fence. Okay, so if you come over here to the big pines, man, this is a good spot for a greenhouse. It's a little sloped, but look at this. We got 40, 50 feet right here, almost flat ground. Well, I know where I'm putting the greenhouse. Look at all the pine needles. This is all pine needles. So instead of them taking 15 to 20 years to break down, I'll rake them up and shred them. I'll leave them around the trees though, because we got drip irrigation hooked up to this, as you can see, but it, you know, the pine needles obviously help keep the moisture in the ground. So that's beneficial for the trees. And I'm not sure when they were planted, but you can see this one's probably 30 feet tall. And I know my mom's been here 20 years and the property was owned for 30. So These trees can be close to 30 years old, and they're doing pretty good, which is amazing. Let's get up to the garden here real quick. Luce, come on. Luce, Luce. Only, don't make me say it more than once. Huh? Huh? Making me talk too much, Lucy. Making me talk too much. Let's go to the garden, Luce. So, we're coming around here. Ooh, that was a big rabbit. Lucy, no eating rabbits. Come on, no eating rabbits. She's already brought me a bunch of babies. She hasn't killed them, but she brings them to me. We're fenced in here, so we're doing pretty all right to keep the rabbits out. I've killed some massive, what were they, grasshoppers in here though. So fighting grasshoppers everywhere. No different than my last place, but so here we got turnips. There goes a grasshopper right there. This is turnips that came up pretty good, but not great. I tried transplanting some because obviously that's 2 turnips, and it didn't work. They don't like being transplanted, so I'll have to thin these out. And this one is turnips, which did better than the other one coming up, but still I'm gonna have to thin that one out. And this one is radishes, and it didn't do very good, especially for radishes, because radishes are probably the easiest thing to grow. Not sure what those little bugs are, if you can see them, but maybe white flies. They're flying and they're white. So I might have to make up some soap and neem oil and kill them suckers off. Garlic. I got these pots, all these big pots ready for tomatoes. I was saving this one for watermelon, but I found this heirloom squash that I'm thinking I want to grow and try it out, and it's called sweet meat, and that one's in there. And this is a spaghetti squash that hasn't come up. I might take this plastic off soon, because if you come over here, this one came up, but there was one before it that came up and got fried because of the plastic. I think it was too moist and too sunny, so I pulled the plastic and let this squash go. Still too cold for squash, but it's surviving. And then the big treat we got here is this bucket of asparagus. So if you look here, I found one that came up, and you can see how purple the ones in the back are. But there's a green variety too, but I haven't cut any of them back yet, because if you look at this real close, you can see all the pods. This is a female, so this will reseed itself. I'm letting this one go, and I can collect seed off of this and let it seed into this pot and maybe grow more root systems. See, here's another female in here too, and I'm not sure. It looks like there's 2 different varieties in here, but this one doesn't seem to be doing good. That one looks great, and some of them are breaking apart when they're real small and ferning out, so I'm just letting them go right now. I might cut this one and eat it if it gets a little bigger, but this is amazing. I mean, look at how big this one is, and it's ferned out to, it's got a lot of seeds on it. And if you start from seed, asparagus is going to take probably 2 to 3 years before you can even cut anything. And this one looks like it needs some water. And this is basil, and this was covered and nothing came up. So I might have to replant on that one. But this one's basil too. And we got some coming up in here. So we got some basil. Ooh, I better water this. Looks a little dry out. Got a few weeds in there we could pop out. And then this one is tomatillo. And one tomatillo came up. So let's hope that one survives. It's been cold, but it's got a couple of true leaves on it. So we'll see. And more buckets of garlic. Oh, and I forgot with the asparagus, I just threw some garlic I found in there, and it started regrowing. And this whole side was empty. So yeah, what is that? Oh, something's been nibbling on the asparagus up here. Yeah, cutting branches off. But these are cucumbers that I just randomly planted in there when I had leftover seeds, and they took off. So that's a market more cucumber. So if anybody has cold like I do, these things are literally coming up in the cold, which is pretty amazing. But they can die in the cold too if it gets too cold. So you might need to keep them covered. We got beets over here that came up, but not good. We got, that's not very good germination, but it was an old packet. I think like 2002. So not too bad. Then we got beets in this one too, and a weed that needs to come out. And then, ooh, sounds like something big in the bushes over here. I don't know. There's so many critters around here, it's unreal. And we got Lucy over in the shade. And let's skip this bed for a second. I got that sweet meat in this pot too, because I can grow it out and down the ground and out this way. But here's the corn. So it's doing pretty good. It's been up for 2 weeks now, and we're probably 5 inches tall. And germination was pretty good. I got a few empty spots, like right there. And then I have this weird albino one that came up. Oh, there's the grasshopper. There we go. I've seen a grasshopper in there. Lucy, eat the grasshopper. She catches them and eats them, which is great for me. This whole bed is in okra. So it hasn't germinated yet, but that one pot I had up there where I showed you the germination coming up, this is planted at the same time. So these should be coming up real soon. And is that okra or a weed? That looks like a weed, but it's hard to tell. That's too flimsy to be okra. I'll let it go just for another day or two before I can check it. And this one, looks like maybe a dig mark. This whole bed is planted in bean seeds. So these are the yellow wax beans. Soaked them overnight and then planted this yesterday. And well, before that, it took me about 2 hours to get this soil rehydrated, because it looks like this. It's got a little darkness to it, but there's no real organic matter in it, and it just sheds water. I mean, you can spray it on there and it just sheds off. So what do they call that? False watering? Let's turn the water on. I'll show you. You really have to dig it and mix it and dig it and mix it and keep doing that until you get it to soak up water. Hence the compost piles, because compost is organic matter that will help your garden retain moisture. And then once I do that, I'll start also mulching the beds, which will probably with pine needles be very beneficial. So let me show you this. You just soak it and soak it and soak it, and then watch this. Dry as a bone. See that? Dry as a bone. So it takes a long time to get moisture into this soil, and it looks like you're getting it wet. It looks a lot like it's getting nice and soaked in, and then everywhere you go, it just is dry as a bone. So keep that in mind when you're planting your gardens. Uh-oh, baby grasshopper. And the big grasshopper. Jeez, they're everywhere. I gotta get rid of these things. Okay, oh yeah, one last tunnel. So I put the shade cloth over. There is lettuce in there, but I put it in there over that because of the grasshoppers. And there's lots of lettuce growing in here. So let's see. There's also cucumbers, and I did have extra bean seeds. So they got planted back there behind the trellis, but you can see all the cucumbers coming in. I might have to plant some more to fill in these gaps. Like I got a gap here and I got a gap over there. But then this is a variety of lettuce that's doing really good. Especially, it's like 75 during the day, but it's cold at night. So the lettuce would like the cold, I guess, a little bit more. It's not a heat rated variety. And here, these are weeds. So I know that for sure. But that's good food for animals, high in protein. But you can see the lettuce is doing really good. It's a bunch of different varieties. And hopefully we get some salad soon. These are leaf lettuces, not head lettuces. Hence, I'm letting them grow close together. I'm not really too worried about it because I'm going to be harvesting the leaves and not the whole head. So they should still get pretty big. And another weed. These beds were, sitting dormant for at least a few years. So they were full of weeds and everything. And it took me a long time to clean them out. And all these pots were full of weeds and everything, but also full of good surprises like all that asparagus. So that's pretty much the garden update for now. I got these tarps down to start killing weeds off. You can see all the weeds in here. Growing in ground here is going to be a pain, but I'm going to attempt it. There's already, you can see gopher spots in here. I haven't seen any real new activity, but there are gopher holes in here. So maybe if I bring my rototiller up here and till it some, it'll scare them off, but I doubt it. So see, that's an old gopher mound. There's definitely gophers in here, but I'll attempt it. If I overplant, I'll be able to grow crops and the gopher won't be able to eat them all. So that's the plan. Later, probably next season, I'll be planting this, or maybe fall season, I'll get stuff in the ground that I can, you know, like broccoli, brassicas, fall crop stuff. We'll try it in the ground and see how it goes. But this ground needs a lot of organic matter too. High desert soil, rocky, sandy, and not much for nutrients. But you plant crops in here, and then cut them off at the base, leave the roots in there to rot. And that's one good way of getting organic matter into your soil, because this is not the best soil. Maybe corn would do all right in it. Corn doesn't need a lot, and you can feed it, so with, you know, amendments and everything. But that's it for now. That's the garden update on the Lonely Homestead. Things are looking pretty good. Right, Lucy? Yeah, Lucy likes it here. Good girl. All right. I'll see y'all on the next one. Adios and God bless.